You're walking through a quiet parking lot in the middle of the afternoon. The air is still, the sky is clear, and nothing unusual is happening around you. Your footsteps echo faintly against the pavement as cars sit in neat rows. A shopping cart rolls slightly in the distance and then settles back into place. And yet your chest tightens just a little, almost imperceptibly at first. Your breathing shifts, and your attention sharpens without you deciding that it should. Your eyes scan more carefully than they did a moment ago, tracking movement and exits automatically. Nothing concrete has changed, and no clear threat is visible. So why does it feel like something might? Because your brain reacts to possibility, not proof. Your nervous system is designed to treat uncertainty as actionable. Long before conscious thought finishes evaluating a situation, faster detection circuits begin comparing the present moment to stored patterns. These systems operate below awareness and prioritize speed over detailed analysis. They do not ask whether danger is confirmed. They ask whether the current signal resembles something that has mattered before. If it does, even faintly, readiness begins. The brain flags deviation rather than certainty. A sound that is slightly out of place, a movement that is less predictable, or a subtle shift in environmental tone can all be enough to trigger attention. Pattern matching happens before conscious evaluation assembles context. By the time you form a clear interpretation, the body may already be preparing. When a pattern is flagged, the autonomic nervous system shifts toward activation. Heart rate adjusts, breathing becomes shallower, and muscles receive subtle increases in tone. Tension narrows toward the environment and peripheral awareness heightens. The body becomes ready before you consciously decide that anything requires readiness. This is activation unfolding in sequence. Anxiety, in this sense, is readiness rather than evidence of danger. The body prepares first and the thinking mind follows, attempting to interpret what the body has already begun doing. There is a brief timing gap between activation and explanation. During that gap, sensation arrives before certainty. In that window, the body may already feel tense while the mind is still searching for context. That mismatch can make the experience feel mysterious, as though the reaction appeared without cause. But the cause was detection, not conclusion. You may recognize this pattern in smaller moments throughout the day. A stranger walking slightly behind you for a few seconds longer than expected can shift your awareness. A sudden silence in conversation can produce a flicker of alertness before anyone speaks again. A notification that appears unexpectedly can generate tension before you read a single word. Even internal sensations can act as signals. A skipped heartbeat or a sudden warmth in your chest can be interpreted as deviation from baseline. The signal is ambiguous. The system responds anyway because its priority is not comfort. It is cost prevention. From an evolutionary perspective, this bias made sense. In early human environments, threats were subtle, sudden, and often unclear. A shadow at the edge of vision or a shift in group posture could signal danger. The system is not trying to make you anxious. It is trying to prevent regret. Missing real danger once mattered more than reacting unnecessarily many times. Survival favored early activation. Speed over precision. The cost of unnecessary alertness was small compared to the cost of ignoring actual threat. A brief spike in heart rate was tolerable. Failing to react when a predator was present was not. Over generations, systems that prioritized rapid readiness became embedded in human biology. The brain evolved to amplify uncertainty when it resembled past threat, because that bias reduced catastrophic error. That architecture remains active in modern nervous systems. Modern environments are less physically dangerous, but ambiguity has multiplied and intensified. Short text replies arrive without tone or facial expression. Ambiguous emails can be interpreted in multiple ways. Performance evaluations unfold over weeks with unclear outcomes. News exposure delivers constant signals of potential threat, often detached from immediate personal context. Social status signals shift subtly through digital metrics and public visibility. Modern life does not eliminate uncertainty. It stretches it. Unlike a physical threat that either arrives or disappears, cognitive and social ambiguity can persist indefinitely. An unanswered message lingers. A delayed response creates branching interpretations. A minor social misstep can be replayed repeatedly without closure. The prediction system does not easily mark these as complete, so it continues modeling. The brain does not clearly separate physical threat from social ambiguity or internal sensation. A racing heart, a brief dizziness, or a change in someone's tone can all be flagged as deviation. It flags deviation. It amplifies uncertainty. It prepares before confirmation. Once activation begins, the autonomic nervous system redistributes resources. Blood flow shifts slightly toward muscles. Digestive activity slows. Attention narrows toward potential sources of uncertainty. These changes are subtle but measurable. They are coordinated and automatic. The thinking brain then attempts to interpret what has already occurred. It searches memory for similar patterns. It evaluates context. It weighs probability. Sometimes it concludes quickly that nothing is wrong. Sometimes ambiguity remains. When no clear threat is identified, the activation can feel confusing. You may question why you feel uneasy when everything appears normal. But reaction originated from rapid pattern detection, not deliberate reasoning. The body prepared for what might be. Anxiety, in this framework, is activation without confirmation. It is preparation without evidence. It is a system doing its job slightly too broadly in environments saturated with unresolved signals. Modern ambiguity rarely resolves cleanly. Social cues remain partially interpretable. Professional outcomes unfold slowly. Digital communication compresses nuance into fragments. The nervous system is exposed to a steady stream of low-grade uncertainty. The system widens its threshold. When understood this way, the sensation changes meaning. Tightness in the chest becomes a sign of readiness, rather than impending catastrophe. Heightened attention becomes evidence of preparation rather than proof of danger. A quickened heartbeat becomes part of a sequence that began with detection and will move toward resolution. The brain is not broken. It is protective. Across this series, the pattern remains consistent. In Part 1, prediction loops replayed when closure was incomplete. In Part 2, sleep was delayed until the brain registered sufficient safety. Here, daytime anxiety emerges from predictive bias that favors early activation over perfect accuracy. The brain prioritizes prediction. The body prioritizes readiness. Certainty arrives last. Detection comes first. Preparation follows. Certainty arrives last. Anxiety lives in the space between them, and it is doing what it was designed to do.